Yo! Gangsters! Happy Friday night, gangsters. You guys are gangsters today. You ain't Vikings. You gangsters. Hold on, we gotta stop the finger song. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Ping, Clint. Let's go, baby. We're not rug pulling this song, Clint. We're not yet, man. Not yet, my man. Maybe someday we'll rug pull it, but I don't think we're out of the woods yet. Hollow Man, raw food writer. What do you write about raw food? That is an interesting profession. I wouldn't like anything you write because I hate raw veggies. Who in the chat likes raw veggies versus cooked veggies? Actually, that's a good poll to start the stream today, right? Let's do a quick poll. Do you prefer cooked or raw vegetables? I don't know why I'm asking this, but let me know. You can put it in the chat too. Do you prefer cooked or raw veggies? I prefer cooked veggies all day, whether it's carrots or anything. Any, I don't have to name them all. They're all better cooked. Come on. Who doesn't like cooked? Well, actually, this is a better question. Who likes raw or cooked carrots better? That's probably better, man. Oh, we did yes or no. I love when I do that, man. I'm ready to poll on that. We're gonna end the poll because once of all, it's a stupid question. Second of all, who gives a shit? Third of all, we did yes or no in the poll, man. What's going on, Trevor? What's going on, Rolf? Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you in the chat, my man. All right, we're gonna talk some Bitcoin today, some altcoins, and we're gonna have some fun as always. Let's go. What's going on, Rolf? Clint said yes, no to that question. Yeah, I mean, depends. It depends on the type of vegetable you're eating, I guess, right? At the end of the day, like if you're eating carrots, you gotta like the carrots cooked. I'm sorry, like there's nothing better than getting a nice little baby carrot, you know, making that baby carrot like so soft, so when you bite into it, it just goes right into your tongue and it's delicious. You know when you get a hard carrot, you know, and you go, oh my god, it tastes like absolute dog piss. Let me tell you. Eric, what's going on, bro? He likes it raw dog. Nice. That wasn't the question, but I understand your answer, my friend.
Strap up. We're going to the moon.
Bundy, what's up, man? What's going on, Interactive? Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, we got INJ. INJ was the story of today, man. INJ just keeps ripping up all-time high waiting room for INJ. We got to play some pump song for INJ. Let's do it, man. We got to play the pump song for INJ to start the stream. This thing just keeps rocking and rolling to the upside. It's absolutely fantastico. You caught it at the bull market support band. Congrats. That's where I got it. Let's freaking go, man. But no, you know, in general, altcoins got pullbacks today in general, which actually, you know, Bitcoin kind of holding at 33,820. Bitcoin really didn't even move today. A lot of the altcoins got some decent pullbacks today, which actually even makes me more bullish. And we know the reason why this is, right? On little Bitcoin pullbacks, the altcoins will get bigger pullbacks, which that money eventually flows back into Bitcoin in the first part of the cycle. So that part actually makes me more bullish. When I go over to the relatively in the altcoin market, right? We got a few outperformers today. INJ up 11%. FET's up 6%. Another one we've been talking about, doing pretty good today. But most altcoins, you know, earn the red today, right? You got some pretty decent pullbacks. Doge down 7% today. AVAX down 5%. You got, you know, Sand, Matic, Mana, Sol, all down like 4 or 5%. So pretty decent sized red days across the board. Yet Bitcoin really didn't move, and this is what will fuel the move higher, right? And we always said this: we don't necessarily need new money coming to the market. We could just have people selling altcoins into Bitcoin and eventually have this range push up higher, right? So still the same thought process, and you know, once again, the altcoins are fine, right? I think if you believe Bitcoin's going higher from here, I wouldn't, like I said, I don't hate on you for DCing into altcoins. But once again, like Bitcoin's daddy in the first part of the cycle, And it's days like this that remind you why Bitcoin's daddy, right? Bitcoin doesn't have to move and the altcoins push back down. When Bitcoin gets a bounce, they'll probably bounce harder, but that's just how it works. What's going on, Dave? Nah, man, raw carrots, broccoli, and cauliflower dipped in ranch. Ugh. I'm not a big fan of dipping the vegetables in like ranch. I know people love to do that. They love to dip, celery and blue cheese and celery and ranch and carrots and all these types of sauces. And you know what kind of man I am? You know what kind of man I am? I'm not I want to dip a vegetable in sauce. That's kind of weird. As a man, you should want to dip some meat in some sauce. You should want to dip some chips in some sauce. You want to dip a freaking celery or carrot in ranch, and that's your snack? Come on, bro.
Strap up. We're going to the moon.
You got to be getting some chicken and dipping that shit in some sauce, okay? Or even get some Chinese food. Like I want tonight. I want some Chinese food again tonight, guys. Anyways, no, I mean, let's get serious for a second. So, once again, I think the most important thing for Bitcoin here is realizing that we're at a 7-month range. We broke it to the upside. And when you look at some of these indicators, right, and you don't really need indicators, but it's nice to have some confluence of just the when you just look at the market structure of Bitcoin, right? So you had the first leg up from 15 to 30K. We had actually 2 pullbacks back down to 25K. And now that we can throw out the head and shoulders, everyone's favorite pattern, the head and shoulders. I like to call it the dick and balls. And this one really wasn't a dick and balls, and it really wasn't a head and shoulders. It was more so just a range that we broke to the upside, right? With the little double low off the 50 moving average. And we've said this, man. When you break out of a 7-month range, it's not going to be a small move. And when you put that together with your BBWP, which measures volatility, being at the record low for Bitcoin, right? And you also put into any type of momentum indicator, whether it's your stock RSI or your RSI or your MACD, all pointing up as you get volatility, right, at lows, whether you look at the 2-week or the weekly, at all-time lows. This is not going to be a small move. Right. And I know the sideliners are going to want this to be a small move. And, we're going to beg for it to pull back to 28K because we want an entry. I just don't think that they're going to get that entry. I think this is going to continue to grind higher. And we've said this. It's going to grind high slowly. It's gone up higher than I thought, faster than I thought, to be honest. I thought we were going to grind up more slowly than this. Maybe we cool off for a little bit here. But I just think the 38K waiting room is waiting for all the boolahs to have a nice little party at some point here in the near future, man. And I think it's fantastic. And you're going to see a lot of altcoins follow with, not all, right? You're going to have your laggers. There's been some great gators. But once again, I say this, man, don't get discouraged. I think if you're in the altcoin market right now, do not get discouraged on days like this. This is normal. Okay, we know Bitcoin runs up first. Okay, Bitcoin gets to a certain point that gets people feeling some type of way. It gets the newbies to come back in. It gets the noobs to come back in. As soon as the newbies and noobs come back in, that's when you'll get the moves that you really want from the altcoin market, right? You just got to have patience. Don't get discouraged because it's easy to get discouraged right now. Especially if you see a day where like Bitcoin's just going sideways and you're like, why is my altcoin down 6% today? This is ridiculous. Bitcoin's not even moving. Just understand that's how the cycle works. And you just have some patience, have some composure. If you loved your altcoin at a certain price, you got to love it at the current price, right? So just be patient. What's going on, love? Good to see you. Clint said, am I the only one who just reads the comments and ignores everything Jordan is jabbering about? You're not the only one, man. Sometimes I even do that with myself. I'm just jabbering, but I'm just reading what you guys are saying in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. You need a lot of noobs to grind to dust for alts to go up. Yeah, you need Bitcoin to go up first, and then money flows into the altcoin market, right? We know how this works. But, we like to fade that, and that's okay. That's okay. We've had multiple cycles that tell us the same thing. Bitcoin got to get up here, right? And then you're going to start seeing the altcoins move the way you want to. And until that, it's just going to be up, down for altcoins. Some of them are going to go up, they're going to go down, but they're relatively going to stay in the same spot. There's going to be outperformers, right? You got your links, you got your souls, you got your injective protocols, you got, you're going to have your outperformers, but most of them just aren't going to go anywhere, you know? It is what it is. Doesn't mean you can't DCA, but just understand it's you got to have some patience that comes with that, right? It's not just I'm going to DCA, they're going to go straight up to the moon, right? It is what it is. What's going on, Hank? JJ is sick as fuck. Yeah, a lot of people are sick right now, I've noticed, which is weird. I should get sick way more often than I do, man. I eat some good food. I think a real reason why I don't get sick that often is because I drink more water than I think anyone in the earth does. I drink so much water, man. I easily drink over a gallon a day. Easily. When I first wake up, I chug like 3 glasses of water right when I wake up, almost every day, in record fashion. No one drinks water faster than I do. I think it's because I drink so much water, man. I think water's underrated when it comes to health. I don't think it's like underrated. I think just people know that water is important, but people still just want to drink juice and soda all the time and shit. It's like, which is cool. You can drink juice and soda, like I do too, but you gotta have your water too, right? You can't have your cake and eat it too. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Hank. Yeah, I hope you get well soon, JJ. I hope everyone gets well soon. I heard a lot of people are sick, man. And once again, hope everyone gets good, and hope everyone gets ready for what's to come in a very healthy fashion. You know what I mean? That's all you can do. Savvy was still trying to justify his Nintendo pattern after a 3% dump. Nintendo pattern? Well, sometimes, listen, we're all wrong sometimes. It is what it is. It is what it is, man. And I've always said this, man. It's okay to be wrong, but you got to decide what's more important. Would you rather be right, or would you rather make money? Right? Too many people just love being the bear or the bull, and they'll hold on to their thoughts way too long instead of just saying, shit, I was wrong. Take the public criticism. People will forget about it in 2 minutes. Okay? Say I was wrong and move on to what you think is going to happen, right? That's okay. Like, people think you gotta nail every single move. It's just, the people that lose the most are people that get stuck on a bias. They just get stuck on a bias. And I've been there before. You get stuck on a bias and you don't want to change your mind because you don't want to admit to people that you were wrong. When in reality, no one gives a shit, right? And you shouldn't give a shit what other people think. Making money is more important than being right. It is, right? And I had that problem before, I had that problem. Like, listen, was I the most bullish on Bitcoin right here? No. But I knew when to flip bullish. And I wasn't just going to keep being a bear like an idiot when the signs were that we were going to go up from here. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay to be wrong. Anyone who always thinks they're right, first, I know is a liar, first of all. You're lying if you think you're always right. You're not. I know you're lying. Second of all, it's okay to admit you're wrong sometimes, man. You got to know when you're wrong, have an invalidation, and say, okay, this happened. This start is starting to look bullish. I'm going to flip bullish now, which is what we did, right? Or say Bitcoin, we think Bitcoin's going to go higher right here, right? Say I think Bitcoin's going to go to 38 to 40K right now, right? Which I still stand by. That is going to happen, in my personal opinion. But I'll say this, I will have an invalidation. If Bitcoin starts dumping down here and breaks 32K back down, I will say I'm wrong. And I will say that we're going to dump back down. You know what I mean? Like, you got to know when to be wrong. It's okay to be wrong, but you can't be stuck on a bias and just keep being wrong. You know what I mean? That's the thing. You don't have to catch the whole move either. That's the thing. Like, you don't have to time the Pico low and be like, I was a bull from the Pico low. You can get 50% of the move. Which is fine. It is what it is. Shit, bro. Shout out to Kaspa. Yeah, we got to get Kaspa moving, man. Kaspa's been stuck on that freaking high forever, man. All right, other than that, right, I think to me, it's really simple right now. You don't break a 7-month range and just sit there, right? It's going to be an explosive move. You're going to push higher. when volatility is low, when you get all your momentum indicators pointing up, you're going to go higher. It's not going to be a small move. And to me, pullbacks, any type of pullbacks are a gift, unless we break 32K. If we dump back below, actually, I wouldn't even say 32K. I would say if we close a weekly back below like 31, that ain't looking pretty. And that's actually looking very bad if we close the weekly close back below 31K. But as long as we hold above there, which to me is like this level right here, that first weekly high, as long as we hold above there, any type of dip is a gift. And you'd be very, very lucky, I think, to get a dip back down to the 31, 32Ks at this point. And if you did, you take advantage of that, right? Obviously, if we dip below 31K, that's when you can say, all right, I cut it, right? I was wrong, and we play it back down. It is what it is. So very, very simple. We're not gonna make this like too ridiculously unclear. And I think the altcoins really start moving when Bitcoin gets up into this region, right? If it does. We don't even know if it's going to do it, but if it gets back up into here, that's when I think alts really start cooking and really start moving and really start doing their thing, right? Because historically speaking, this altcoins don't start going up big, right? Which is fine. Just don't get discouraged until Bitcoin gets back up into here, right? Don't be fooled by, I would tell you to say this, man. Don't be fooled by the altcoin season calls. True altcoin season will not happen until Bitcoin gets up into here. Don't be fooled. Do I think it's going to come? Yes, I do. But not quite yet. Not quite yet. But yeah, that's really it. Patience. And it's the weekend, so we know we might get 3 days of nothingness. Even though I hope that the honey badger wakes up this weekend and we get some weekend moves, my friend. Because a weekend move is beautiful. And a weekend move is a sign that times have changed. Because when you start getting weekend pumps, that's how you know people are really getting interested in this market. But if we're just boring on the weekend, that means people aren't interested yet, which I would prefer. I would prefer people aren't interested yet, What's going on, Brad? How does the war on Gaza affect the market? It doesn't. It doesn't, man. Like, here's the thing. Markets price shit in, okay? The war is just another thing there to scare you, right? Just like, and I to be honest, I've fallen victim to this stuff too. Think of everything that's happened over the course of this year. It's all been there to just scare you out of your position. You know what I mean? That's really all it's been, right? Whether it was, starting with the FTX collapse, but anything after that, right? The contagion of DCG, right? The banking collapse, the all the rate hikes, all the inflation data. What else has happened? Binance getting sued, Coinbase getting sued, this, that, boo, all this shit, and even the macro stuff has just been a distraction to get you out of position, right? Whether it's on Bitcoin, you're starting to see the stock market fall now, but the thing is, the market's going to price shit in beforehand, right? So if the market's really scared about war, it's not going to wait until the war escalates to dump. It's going to do it beforehand because markets price shit in before. So stocks are getting a hit. So I think the stock market's scared. Like the stock market's shitting their pants right now. Look at this move on the S&P. Like the S&P is getting sent back to the shadow realm right now. But then you go to Bitcoin, and Bitcoin looks bullish, the most bullish I've seen it in 2 years. And listen, I'm not gonna sit here and act like, is Bitcoin all of a sudden becoming this like flight to safety, like Larry Fink is saying? Because Larry Fink did say that Bitcoin's gonna be a flight to safety, my friends, right? And I think the chart shows, like the chart speaks, through all this uncertainty in the world, and now you got all this shit going on, and the Bitcoin chart looks like this, and the S&P chart looks like this, something is going on. Something's going on. This ain't small money rotating from S&P into Bitcoin. This ain't small money. This is a lot of money that's rotating. S&P getting sent down, now almost like 11%, which is a huge move for the S&P. And Bitcoin from that same point up 35%. This ain't a small rotation. Like something is cooking behind the scenes. And it's awesome. It's awesome. I think will it last? I don't know, but something's cooking, man. Something's cooking. Man, what's going on, Blaze? Gold pumping isn't bullish for Bitcoin. They're competing for liquidity. True, man. But I think it's interesting to see the S&P going down and gold and Bitcoin going up. It's an interesting phenomenon that we don't see all the time. We don't, man. And I'm feeling really, really good. I think Bitcoin's going to go higher. I know these S&P and NASDAQ moves are really scaring people, but it's been scaring people for the last couple of weeks, and Bitcoin has shrugged it off as nothing. Like if you showed me this S&P chart, if you came over here and said, this is the S&P chart, right? I would have told you Bitcoin would be down freaking 30% right now. I probably would. Like if you told me back in July that this was the S&P 500 chart, I probably would have guessed that Bitcoin would be at like 20K right now. You know what I mean? Like I would have guessed that something really bad happened right here and Bitcoin would have got sent back to the shadow realm. But then I go over here and this is what it looks like, you know? And I've said this, I don't think I think people are conservative right now. I'm actually looking for higher, like a lot higher prices here. The disbelief in the market because of that is crazy right now. And I think a lot of people are on the sidelines and out of position. And I'll say this, I'm, really after that whole ETF fake pump, I've been like the most bullish I've been on Bitcoin in a long freaking time. And it's still the same. Like I'm the most bullish I've been on Bitcoin in a long freaking time. And I think a lot of people are going to get caught off sides. They've already got caught off sides, but more people will get caught off sides. And it's going to be crazy. I really don't even think that people know what's going to come. Right. I'm serious, man. What's going on, Hank? BTC has been like the U.S. banking system, strong and resilient for now. The banking system, man. And the funny thing is, even if the banking system collapsed, that's bullish for Bitcoin too. Shit, man. It's crazy, man. Yo, shout out to Link Marine. BTC should be at 23K. Bears got scammed. Yeah, I mean, dude, that is it. Don't rage at me. Coming in 8 months as a member, man. I feel like you've been longer 8 months, man. Maybe the billing stopped for a month and you had to restart. But 8 months as a member, shout out to you, bro. Shout out to you, man. That's awesome, dude. That's freaking awesome. But yeah, a pullback day. It's a pullback day for most things, which is cool. We've had a pretty good run up for a lot of different things. Like even some of the bigger pullbacks. I mean, you saw 30, 40% moves. AVAX up 30%. Hey, it's cool to get a 5% pullback day, right? Doge. I mean, we saw about a 30% move off the lows. It's cool to get a 6% move down. So yeah, I don't think it's anything too crazy today. Just a red day and amidst of a Bitcoin uptrend, which is cool, Elliot said, I've been a member for longer, Jordan. Elliot, you've been a member forever, man. For Hoopty's been a member forever. Anderson's been a member forever. No pump song for Koss until it breaks the rising wedge. Yes! I can't wait till Koss breaks the rising wedge, man. Where's Koss? Here it is. No, we got to play the pump. We're not going to play the pump song for Koss for a 3% move up. Let's have Koss break the highs. We get Koss break the highs. Boom. We play the pump song and we're ready to rock and roll, bro. We're ready to rock and roll. Everything's bullish for Bitcoin. I mean, it's funny because when you really think about it right now, like there's so many narratives right now. And I've said this, like, I think people are waking up like, who the frick is selling their Bitcoin right now? I'm trying to think, other than taking some profits, but who is selling their BTC right now? And listen, there's always going to be the guy in the crowd that goes, I'm selling, the top is in. Okay, fine, that's you. But who has been through multiple cycles before, or not even just been through one cycle, or can seize what's going on with Bitcoin and what's coming with Bitcoin over the next 6 months? Realistically, right? And once again, you can call me a moon boy all you want. Once again, I think it's, you know, to be quite honest, I don't really care if someone calls me a moon boy. To be quite honest, Bitcoin's up 140% this year. It's the bears that have been the idiots, right? Let's be honest. So I don't really care if someone calls me a moon boy, to be honest. But like, who's selling their BTC right now, you know, with the ETF deadline coming up in January, with the halving coming up in April, right? With the strength that Bitcoin's showing versus the stock market right now, I just don't see where you're going to get these crazy numbers. You know, and I've said this, like, I think the best thing that happened to Bitcoin was the fake ETF news, because we've been up only since that level. As soon as we got that fake ETF news, I said, this is going to make people literally poop in their pants, with poop dripping down their legs, right? And into their shoes, right? To the fact that their friends can smell that shit from 10 miles away because they shat their pants because they were on the sidelines. That was the best possible thing that could have happened to Bitcoin. I think I underestimated what Bitcoin can do before that point. And that was the real eye-opener. Maybe to me and to a lot of different people. And I don't know. I don't see who is selling their BTC at this current time frame, other than some people taking profits and shit like that, right? It is what it is. Almost always FOMO into BTC. True. Anderson said, need someone to sell. I'm trapped in a short. Anderson, I hope you get out of that short, man. Let's dump a little bit for Anderson, man. Should we play the dump song? Dump it. Let's dump a little bit for Anderson so we can get out of his short and he can go long. Let's dump it to the range low. Let's get to 33K and Anderson can close his short and profit, get long, and then we're going to the moon. Man, let's go, man. Nasty? Oh, come on. We gotta have a little fun. You know, it is a little bit nasty, but it's the truth. A lot of bears were sitting like this in the corner with a little poop in their pants, right? You can see it right here. You see it? You see it? That was Bronson. That was Infinity, right? You see this? That was Bronson and Infinity right there. Shit in their pants, you know? And sometimes that's what it takes. I always like how this bear, he's just like wearing a shirt with a little poop. I like this little baby. He's cute. But yeah, man. Yo, shout out to Kennedy, member for 17 months. We're pushing this back to early 2020. Kennedy, I thought you were here longer too. I thought some of you guys were here since early 2021. You know, it's crazy. BlackRock. He shattered feds. 32.4 is all I want. Oh, you know, Anderson, we ain't going to 32.4. Maybe we'll. I don't know. Who knows, man? Like the short-term time frames are short-term time frames. I think the good thing right now is we reset the 4 hour, right? So the 4 hour was way too overshot. We've now reset it almost back to the 50 level. So a lot of times you get nice little bounces when it comes back to this 50 level, you know? But overall, man, I think you got to be happy with what Bitcoin's doing. Like, you got to be happy to be a Bitcoin holder if you're holding Bitcoin at the current moment when everything else is just shit in the bed at the current moment. And we're holding strong. And even the altcoin market, which typically when the S&P goes down, the altcoin market gets wrecked. Even the altcoin market is holding up pretty well. And we said this, we go over to the altcoin market. This is where we be cautious on the altcoin market. This is probably not where we want to FOMO into alts at resistance. But we're at the most critical level for the altcoin market. We're back into the 50 moving average bands. We're back at the MACD resistance on the 2-day. We're back at that descending triangle high. This is where we have some caution on the altcoin market, right? But we remember that just because we be cautious doesn't mean we have to sell your altcoins. That just means that maybe we shouldn't FOMO in at this resistance level, right? So, you know, here we are, but man, how awesome would it be? How awesome would it be? And this is what I think is going to happen personally. This is what I predict is going to happen. We might consolidate here for another couple days, right? Maybe into next week we consolidate into here, but I think we're going to get that next leg up into this like really in the daily. We're going to consolidate maybe for a little bit, but we're going to get that next leg up to 38, 40K. The altcoin market, I think, will eventually, right? In the next few days, maybe get a little pullback when Bitcoin consolidates, but I think we eventually break this up, and then Bitcoin consolidates at 30, 40K. Maybe this comes down and tests, right? And that's where we start to build that base into 2024, where the altcoin market can really start moving. If what I think with Bitcoin will play out, you know, so some good stuff. But man, we are at such a pivotal point for the market right now, man. Let's go, man. Jordan not shitting on Matic anymore. I mean, it's not really going down. It's not. I mean, it's not like going to the moon or anything, but it's holding. It's holding. You know. QM said nobody holding Bitcoin here. Well, here's the thing. I think you can gauge sentiment based on who's holding Bitcoin, right? Now, if I do a poll, let's do a poll real quick. I think sentiment's still shit. And it's funny because sentiment is still shit, even though Bitcoin's up 130% this year. I think it just goes to show how many people just hold all altcoins and no Bitcoin, right? And I know people hate when people say that, but it's just true. Let's see. What percentage of your portfolio is in BTC? Let's ask this question. Let's say 100%, you're a Bitcoin maxi. Let's go between 75% and 100%, or 99%. Let's say, let's do, actually no, let's change this to like 70%. And then let's do 30% to 69%. Doesn't have to be exact. I don't know why I'm doing this. And then 0 to 30%. Let's do that. I think this is a good poll. This is a really, really good poll right here. Let's see. And it's an anonymous poll, so be honest on the poll. I'm generally curious to see what this is. I'm generally curious to see what this is at the moment. Anderson said 0%. I'm 100% degen. Oh Lord. No, guy, come on. Here's what I hope we learn, because we all didn't. I didn't play this completely correctly. I think we should learn this for next cycle, right? Remember this for next cycle. It after the Bitcoin bottom comes in a year after the high, which it has every single time. It's better to be a Bitcoin probably until the halving. I think that's the biggest lesson that we can learn, which is played out again. And it's like I said, sometimes you have to go through it multiple times to sort of learn, right? But there was a time that I sold every alt I had for BTC. Nice, Anderson. Nice, man. You should have had a 0 option all by itself. Look at this poll. And you know, I think that just goes to show. And dude, this poll is really eye-opening, man. This poll is really eye-opening to me. I think this poll shows just how offsides everyone still is Bitcoin. And that this poll even makes me more bullish on Bitcoin. You know what I mean? Look at this poll. It's crazy, man. That is crazy, man. This poll makes me even, that poll shows me how much more money can still go into Bitcoin without even having new money have to go into the crypto market. You got 51% of people with under 30% of their portfolio in BTC. That is crazy, man. That's crazy. That's crazy. And that's even after the performance of Bitcoin this year. That's crazy, man. Damn. And I think that goes to show why the sentiment is still so shit. You know what I mean? And I'm just being honest. Jesus, man. Man, that even makes me more bullish. Shit, bro. Like if that usually Jesus Christ, man. Dude, that I think that, and I'm not just trying to be like holy shit. I'm saying this as a standpoint of I think that goes to show that how much Bitcoin can still solo rally, and how the cycles play out. The cycles play out every time the same. Everyone is always like in the first part of the bull market, everyone is so underweight Bitcoin. Everyone is so underweight Bitcoin. Right? And then it's when Bitcoin moves up by itself, everyone's like, oh my God, Bitcoin's going up. My altcoins aren't going up. They sell their altcoins into Bitcoin. That's when the Bitcoins start rising. The same thing is going to happen again. And I think the biggest thing we can learn from this is be in Bitcoin early in the cycle. And then transfer from Bitcoin to altcoins later, because that's the opposite of what people do. What people usually do, and you can tell by the sentiment, is they go all into altcoins in the bear market. Their altcoins don't move while Bitcoin moves up. They say, shit, I'm panic selling my alts and going into Bitcoin. That's when Bitcoin stalls and altcoins go to the moon. And I guess the biggest thing we can learn from this, not only that, is don't be discouraged. Don't be discouraged by Bitcoin moving up and your altcoins not moving. Don't be discouraged by that, because as soon as you get really discouraged and as soon as you're like, oh my God, I can't handle this anymore, I'm going into Bitcoin and selling my altcoin, that's when it's going to go to the moon, because it's a psychological thing, right? And don't be discouraged, because there's going to be a time that you're going to feel like that. Like if you're in that 0 to 30% of your portfolio in altcoins, the 50% of you guys in here, you're going to feel like that, I bet, in the next few months, where Bitcoin's going to move up here, your altcoin's still at the lows, and you're like, what the fuck? This freaking sucks. So then you sell it, you go into Bitcoin. Bitcoin probably stalls. That's when your altcoin that's still down here starts to catch up. It's what happened in Bitcoin last cycle. And I was guilty of that too, because I was heavy in ETH. Bitcoin was rocketing up. I was like, what the fuck, man? ETH is not freaking moving, man. And I was getting super discouraged because I was heavy in ETH. And then out of nowhere, if you guys remember, ETH just like freaking went to the moon. Like in like a month, it did like a 8x, out of nowhere, And it's part of the cycle, man. It's part of the cycle. Denise said, I like the stream. I'm gonna thank you, Denise. Drunk Bear said, I suck at typing. We all suck at something, man. Listen, I suck at streaming. Some of you guys like to watch me. I don't even know why. You know what I mean? But, it is, and we do what we got to do, man. It's a nice little consolidation day today, Let's see. Gen X said the worst thing altcoin holders can do is sell their alts to buy BTC right now. I think it's almost the point where it's too late. I still think Bitcoin will perform better in the short term, but it's almost getting to that point where you're going to start feeling that way, and that's when you're going to do something about it, and then the opposite's going to happen. Right? Just don't feel discouraged, because I know it's easy to feel discouraged, and you can sense by the market, that even though Bitcoin just had a really, really nice move, you're not seeing really euphoria in the market still. It's still very blah, right? Because why? This poll shows why, right? But yeah, I mean, we go to Bitcoin dominance, 57 to 60%, man. We are almost there. Like that is the level where I'm looking for a big rejection on this. And that's when I think alts will start outperforming Bitcoin. And what do I think? The funny thing is, I actually think the ETF announcement of it being approved will mark, like that initial pump will in my opinion, actually mark the top for Bitcoin dominance. As funny as that sounds, because we're at 54% right now. As soon as that ETF gets launched, I bet Bitcoin gets one massive pump to the upside. Massive pump. But then people are going to feel more confident about alts, because they're going to say, shit, Bitcoin's super bullish. Oh my God, everyone's going to hear about the Bitcoin ETF on the news. But what does that do? That gets people more confident in crypto. And then people are going to be flooding into the altcoin market instead. Because that's what people do. People are degens. I actually think the ETF approval will mark the top on the Bitcoin dominance. And then you're going to start seeing altcoins outperform Bitcoin, contrary to popular belief. That's my take. And I think we're almost there. I think we got another couple months. The ETF deadline's in January. I think we got another couple months. And then the Ethereum, always bottoms in Q4 against Bitcoin. It's just playing out nicely and just nice and smoothly, man. Look at the gold BTC correlation. Dude, it's crazy. Gold, I've never seen anything like this. I have never seen this type of decorrelation on stocks versus Bitcoin. I've seen it the opposite, where Bitcoin shits the bed and stocks are still going up. But I've never seen it this way, where the stock market's literally like collapsing. Like, this isn't a small move. Like, this is a collapse. Like, this is a crash. But then you go over here and we're crashing up. I haven't seen really anything like this before. I haven't. And I said this, I don't think we're all bullish enough. I think we're all caught up in the macro and the macro is bad and there's no way we could go up. And I think we're all caught up in that in some way. Like, even if you're a bull, you're still caught up in the macro, right? Oh my God, we can't go up because of interest rates. Like, I still feel bullish, but we can't go that high because the interest rates, I think we're all, I don't think we're all bullish enough, Anyways, I'm going to end the poll. Oh, man. Let's go, baby. Let's go, man. Shout out to Edison and Wayne. Wayne, I love you, bro. Percentage-wise, some alts will do better than Bitcoin, but I can't put 10K or more into any alts. That would be suicide to me. Hell yeah, man. 10K or more into alts. I think that's fine. Listen, I think that's fine. I've always said this. I think no matter how bullish you are on altcoins, there's multiple reasons why most of your portfolio should be in Bitcoin. And you can include ETH in there, but there's always a reason for that. Bass said, oh my God. Yeah, but did you see this poll? That makes me more bullish. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry to say, but like the fact that 50% owns between 0% and 30% of Bitcoin in their portfolio has got to make you more bullish on Bitcoin. That just means that more people are caught off sides, and it is what it is. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. The same thing happened in October 2020. Bath, don't get me horny, man. Don't get me horny, man. It's hard to make me more bullish on Bitcoin than I am right now. Like, I am so bullish on Bitcoin right now. And it's not just because we've already pumped. Like, I was already kind of bullish over here, right? It's not just because we started going to the moon. It's for just the whole constitution of all the narratives that are coming. The complete decorrelation from stocks. The correlation to gold, which is the flight to, like, gold is the flight to safety during war and bad times. And Bitcoin is going up in war and bad times. With an ETF coming, with the halving coming, I don't understand who is going to sell, like, what big player is going to sell their Bitcoin at this current moment. I don't know. And like I said, you can call me a moon boy. We'll see where we are in 6 months. Okay? Call me a moon boy all you want. I can't justify being, with everything going on right now, not owning Bitcoin. I just can't. I can't. Yo, shout out to Ross. Do you think crypto will drop 85% again? It will at some point, yeah. Probably in the next bear it will. Because the people will buy Bitcoin for their 401k every week, every month. But I think it's... Bitcoin might not. The altcoins will. The higher the market cap Bitcoin gets, the less volatile it's going to be. But we also said that last cycle, and Bitcoin still dumped 80% in this bear market. You know what I mean? So I said this, who knows where the Bitcoin top is going to be. But is, whether you're conservative and thinking 80K or you're a hyper bull and thinking 500K, whatever you think is going to happen, it always seems to play out pretty similar, So who knows? Bitcoin dropping 85% again? I don't see it. I don't see it from the standpoint of unless we go to like 500K or something in this next cycle, you know, then yeah, we could go to 500K and then the bear market bottom could be like 80K, you know, but who knows? Who knows? Caleb Shockley said, I want to count on the number of people in America that became basically homeless from crypto. You should never became homeless from crypto, you know, and that stems back into point number one. Never invest more than you can afford to lose. Always have money for your bills. Don't just put everything and hoping that Bitcoin's going to go up this month, right? There's always a chance it dumps for whatever reason, right? You know, I'm horny now because of Bath. Bath told me it was the same thing as October of 2020. Now I'm horny. Now I'm horny, man. And it's like the same kind of thought process of where you are, right? I mean, look at where Bitcoin was in October of 2020 when it started decorrelating from stocks. Apparently, like it was breaking the 14K resistance that it couldn't do for so long, right? And then you got to October 2020, Bitcoin's rising, stocks decorrelating, and you go to look at where you are now, you're breaking this 31K level that you could not break for so freaking long. You know, and it's funny because you think about the time frames of what happened. And I understand, like, one side of the coin, you're getting money printing, right? Money printing is pushing you up. But you look at the other side, and the average person would say, I don't know why Bitcoin is rising. But a lot of people forget what the market sentiment was back in the middle of 2020. It was doom and gloom. People thought the world was going to end because of the freaking pandemic. I understand we had money printing, but people weren't thinking that way at that time, right? A lot of people were still bearish, calling for like prices go significantly lower because of the pandemic, right? It's the same thing now. It doesn't seem like everything's good, but the charts don't lie. The chart's going up, and it doesn't make sense. You know, at the time, you look back for a year from now, you're going to say, shit, it made sense because something will probably happen that we're pricing in now that makes sense why Bitcoin's going up right now. But we won't understand it probably until a year from now, right? And we'll say, why the fuck wasn't I, what the frick? You know, just like you look back over here and you say, why the fuck wasn't I bullish back at 10K? Because I promise you 90% of you guys weren't here in the early 2020. You know what I mean? And there's a reason for that. You know, because it's doom and gloom. You don't want to get into markets when it's doom and gloom, just like right now. You know, and the fact that you guys are here, you're already one step ahead of the freaking mob, man. The mob will be back. It will be back. Fear comes into the market. Greed comes into the market. They will be back. And they will be back for the vengeance. You know? Shout out to Caleb. What percentage of Americans own homes? That's a good question. I mean, I think that number's going down every single year. It has to be going down, right? With the wage versus home prices. Look at the wage versus home price chart. It's one of the worst charts. It's one of the worst charts, man. You know, I've said this, like it doesn't make sense. Like when you take into account home prices at the current time frame, to me it doesn't make sense to buy a house unless you're buying it cash. Especially at the interest rates that are coming in now. Like it just doesn't make any sense. You're going to end up paying double the price double the list price for your home. You know? I don't know. Jordan started cursing like a sailor once we got into I've only cursed once this stream. I don't think I cursed that much, guys. You're overrating the amount of that. You're overrating amount that I curse. You know what I mean? Like, you just are, dude. Oh, Lord. Wayne, I'm starting to feel like Wayne, man. I feel like, anyone else feel like Wayne lately? Does anyone else feel like Wayne? I don't know, man. I think everyone, you know how it is right now too? I think a lot of people are afraid to say that they're bullish. I think a lot of people are afraid to say, it's like bear market PTSD. A lot of people are afraid to be bullish, and a lot of people are afraid to call for higher prices because it just seems like you're an idiot for calling higher prices with the macro being so bad and everything that's happening with the world. Like, a lot of people are afraid to say, like, I think Bitcoin's going higher, like significantly higher from here, because it's just easier to be bearish right now because everyone agrees, like, oh, they have the macro, man, it's bad. Like, oh my God, it makes sense to be bearish right now. Like, look at the stock market. I gotta say it, man. I ain't afraid to be bullish right now. I'm looking for 38 to 40K is the next target over the next couple weeks. Maybe we consolidate there for a little bit, but like I said, it's not just the green candles. It's what's going with the green candles. It's the context of where the green candles have gotten back above. It's the decorrelation from stocks and the correlation to gold. It's the fact that one of the most powerful men in the world is calling Bitcoin a flight to safety as it's actually acting like a flight to safety. I think a lot of people are just afraid to be bullish, man. You know, it is what it is. You know, I'm feeling like Wayne, man. You know, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good where we are, you know? I'm not overly euphoric or anything, but I'm feeling really good about what's coming, man. And I just hope that I want everyone in the chat to just be in the game, man. You don't need to be all in. Be in the game, bro. Because I want everyone in. I don't want, the worst I want for someone has been following for a long time and they're just not even in the game. Even if they just own Bitcoin. Just own spot Bitcoin. Be in the game, man. Be in the damn game. Because I want everyone to enjoy the ride, the real ride when it happens. Like, this ain't nothing. You think this? You think the last few weeks is something? This ain't nothing. This ain't nothing. This ain't nothing, man. You look at some of these alts. You think a Chainlink pump to $11 is something? This ain't nothing. This is some pussy shit. But man, you look at some of these altcoins too. It's got to get you excited for what's to come. This type of breakout does not happen during a bearish time. A 1.5 year range breakout for Link does not happen during a bearish time. You go over to some of these other ones. You don't have a top 100 altcoin moving like this during a bearish time. Well, I'm in INJ all-time high waiting room, baby. I'm a little bit euphoric on INJ.
Strap up. We're going to the moon.
You know, like, you look at some the high caps, right? I mean, it's not all of them. You know who I watched today? I watched today in the car on the way back. I watched, what is it? Not Invest Answers. Digital Asset Investor, right? I don't watch him all the time, but he made a very, very important point today. And I hope everyone takes this. He actually dug up, which I'm way too lazy to dig up, but I've always known this. He went back and he looked at all the altcoins, okay, from 2017. Okay, he looked back all the top 50 altcoins from 2017, right? So the top 50. Let me ask you guys this. How many of those top 50 altcoins hit a new all-time high in the 2021 cycle? How many did? Can you guess? I bet you guys will all say a number that's higher than it actually is. How many of the top 50 altcoins from 2017 hit a new all-time high higher than the 2017 top in 2021? I want to see if anyone can guess this correctly. Digital Asset News. Yeah, he made a really good video today. He made a really good point. And I've always known this. I've been way too lazy to actually do the research on this. How many? How many, man? And it's going to be eye-opening. And it's got, what my point with this is to understand, I think it's important to be a little bit diversified into multiple things. Let's see. How many? Actually, now you guys are actually guessing a lot lower than it actually is. I'm shocked. So it was actually 20%. Only 20% of the altcoins in the top 50 from 2017 made a new high in 2021. 20%. 20%. And that doesn't mean the same thing has to happen this time, right? But he made an excellent point on this. I think it's important to be diversified, right? Important to be diversified, not be all in on one, right? And I think the price action is screaming that maybe it's not going to be 20%, but I think the price action so far has been screaming that there's specific ones that I think will break all-time highs. Chainlink is a great example, right? Solana is a great example. We can go down the list, but there might be some ones that that might seem like, dude, 40% of those, 40 out of those 50 you probably guys never even heard of, and they were out 4 years, less than 4 years ago. You know what I mean? You never even heard of them. And I think a lot of these, you look at the top 100, the top 50, you might not even hear of those again in 4 years from now. You know? So I think it's important to be a little bit diversified, not be all in on one altcoin. If you're going to be all in on one altcoin, make sure it's one that you really believe in. And but yeah, he made a great point today. This isn't me finding this info. This was something I heard today, which I thought was a good point. You know? Newer alts without a cycle should do well. Let's see. CHG, Chili's. Oh, Mike, we know Chili's is hitting all-time highs.
Strap up, we're going to the moon.
We know that, baby. We know that, baby. Chili's will hit all-time highs. Let's go, baby. Chili's will make up for all the ones that don't. Chili's will suck up all the Bitcoin's market cap. Imagine if Chili's went to like number one randomly and we all had to like bow down to Hoffs because like Chili's like became like the official altcoin of the FIBA, and it like sucked all of Bitcoin's money. That would be brutal. Hoffs would never let it down. He would just be constantly gloating about how good his Chili's call was. Oh, that would be great. That would be great, man. That would be fantastic. Oh, man. Like alts who haven't gone through a full BT cycle. Yeah. And that's not always true, right? There's going to be old altcoins outperform new altcoins. But in general, on average, new altcoins do better than altcoins that have already been through a full cycle. On average. It's not always that way. But it's a decent thing to use. You know? Mike said facts. Crunk said, I sold all my Doge when Elon was announced on SNL. I'm going to call cap on that one. Crunk.
Stupid.
I'm going to call cap on that one, man. If you did, you were a rock star, my man. Brian Ovolser said, I own 69 alts. Holy shit. 69 altcoins. Bro, like this ain't Pokemon, bro. You don't gotta catch them all. You don't need Pikachu and Raichu and Squirtle and Blastoise, and you don't need all the Pokemon, right? You don't need all the Pokemon. You just need the six party starter kit. You just need the party of 6. You know, maybe have a few in your bag too, but the party of 6 works. What did Clint say? I love when Clint says something. Let's see. What did he say? Wayne's just spitting facts about Bitcoin in the chat. Chili said, if that happened, I'd actually leave the channel in the Discord. Oh my God, that would be so horrendous. Mike would just be gloating to the world. I think he would go on like CNBC and become the new Kramer, man, and just like talk about how Chili's is going to change the world, man. It would just be brutal, bro. Man. Come on, Bitcoin. I don't know. What do you guys think? You think Bitcoin's going to be boring this weekend? It's always boring, but I think a non-boring weekend would show the tides are changing a little bit. Man, what is it? 8 o'clock? 8 o'clock, my friends. 8 o'clock, my friends. 8 o'clock, my friends. Man, it's so funny, man. You know, it really is just kind of crazy how, despite, you know, and I always say this, but like despite what's going on in the world, everything is just so rhymes. And I swear we're in a damn simulation, man. I swear we've all been, well, me, I think I'm in a simulation, but you might think you're in a simulation. We're all in this simulation testing our psychology and how long it will take for us to catch on about the Bitcoin cycles. Like, I swear we're in this thing where it's testing us how long it will take, like I said, for us to like learn these cycles. It's a weird little philosophy. I don't know, but it's just so crazy how like they rhyme. You know, it really is, dude. Like you can look at any metric, like whether like how long the Bitcoin bear usually lasts. It usually lasts 1 year, and then you look for how long, you know, does it take for Bitcoin to get back with the bull market support band for the first time? It was the same time frame this time. You know, it's crazy, man. You look at how long it usually takes for ETH BTC to bottom. If it bottoms in Q4, I'm even more convinced, which I actually think it's going to bottom here. I think the ETH BTC pair will bottom on the ETH ETF, on the Bitcoin ETF approval. And it will be the opposite of what everyone thinks. The Bitcoin ETF will cause a massive pump on Bitcoin initially. Everyone will be like, "Whoa, look at Bitcoin!" And then that's when ETH BTC bottoms, and then ETH starts outperforming Bitcoin, contrary to the belief of what everyone thinks will happen. And Bitcoin will outperform ETH until that happens, contrary to what everyone believes. It's crazy, man. It really is. Like Bitcoin dominance going up before the halving, and then if it starts going back down right before the halving, like it has in the 2 previous cycles, come on, man. This shit is rigged. It's rigged, man. Be right back. Need another beer? Nice, Wayne. Beer sounds pretty good right now, actually. I'm gonna go to the store and get a nice little beer. We're gonna have a nice night with Maj. We're gonna watch some 90 Day Fiance tonight. I'm gonna have a beer or two. We're gonna cuddle. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna not look at the charts tonight because there's nothing really to look at. But we're gonna enjoy some of these good moves, man. I mean, we're gonna enjoy some of these good moves and what's to come, and yeah, man. Excuse me. Javon's taking profit on Bitcoin. Listen, man, you can't go broke taking profits, but just make sure you have a plan to get back in if you need to, right? Don't let anyone hate on you. Like, if you want to be selling your BTC here at 34, 35K, I'm not going to hate on you. It's better than selling your BTC down here, right? Just have a plan and say, okay, I'm bearish at 35K, but how do I turn bullish again? As long as you have a plan, that's fine. My thing is, like, if you're going to sell your Bitcoin here at 35K, what is your, like, say if Bitcoin just rips the 40 now, where do you enter where you don't feel like you're not entering at a high? And to me, it's going to be very hard to feel that way. I think we're in that weird spot where this like 35K level is like the last level. Because if we get back above that, really, it's like there's nothing really there. There's nothing really there in the high term time frames until like 50K. You know, like where do you enter where you don't feel like you're FOMOing? And there really isn't a spot. I think that's going to be painful for a lot of people. Like they can't justify buying there because you feel like you're FOMOing, but there's also not a point where you feel comfortable adding, even on a dip, because you just feel like, I don't know. It's going to be weird, man. We're in a weird spot right now. It's hard to turn bullish now. It is, which I think is better. It's hard to turn bullish. You know? About to watch game 1 of the World... Is it World Series? Oh, yeah, it is October, man. It is October. By the way, shout out to my Celtics. They're winning the ship this year. Cuddling is underrated. Cuddling is underrated, man. Cuddling is underrated, man. Let's see. Ice Sniper said, damn, Moonboy engaged with 1 fake pump. Listen, man. How many times do we have to say this? There's a difference between being a Moonboy after the fact, between being a Moonboy before the fact. If I would just turn into a Moonboy right here, yeah. But listen, we started turning into a Moonboy right around here. We were getting into the into the move before the damn pump, you know? So it's not like I turn into a moon boy here. On this ETF fake news, where everyone was like, oh my God, like this wick is so bearish, man. This wick is so bearish. And I said for days, I was like, that wick is going to fool a lot of people into thinking that was the high. Because what do everyone think about a wick? Everyone's like, oh, a wick was a rejection. And I tend to said, that wick is not a rejection. We only dumped because we had fake news. It wasn't a rejection. It's gonna fake out a lot of people. And then boom, right? We pulled back for 2 days, and then boom, people shit their pants. And honestly, right now is a tough spot. I think right now, like, if there's any spot where Bitcoin's going to sort of poop, it'll poop. But I think as a bull, you have a very easy invalidation right now. I think you can confidently look at Bitcoin and say, as long as it stays above like 31K, you're good, right? So if you caught the move from down here, you have a very easy point where you can say I'm wrong. Where any pullback into 31K is fine, but if you close a weekly below 31K, you can cut it, right? You have a very easy invalidation now. And you, as a bull, you feel very comfy right now. And that's also another thing. It's a psychological thing. As a bull, you feel very comfy because you know where you can flip bearish. Versus as a bear, you're kind of stuck. You know, like you're stuck into like, where do I flip bullish? Like, where does a bear that's currently still bearish flip bullish? I thought it was if Bitcoin broke 32K. That was the invalidation. And now we're bullish now. But like, where do you flip bullish as a bear? I know if as a bull where I flip bearish, but where do you flip bullish as a bear? I don't know. I don't know, bro. You think we'll tap 30K before going up again? I have no idea. No idea. My guess is no. My guess is no. I think we're going to see 30K, 8K, 40K. I would not be surprised if we saw it next week. It would not be surprised if we saw 38 to 40K next week. And I'm not afraid to call for that. I know a lot of people will be afraid to call for that because if it doesn't happen, they're afraid of being wrong. I ain't afraid of being wrong. I think there's a good chance that we see 38 to 40K. I would say maybe not. Like, time frame is hard, but you know, I would say within the next couple weeks, I would not be surprised if we see higher, man. 37K Sunday. I love it, Prouder. You're putting your mouth where your mouth is. You know what I mean? You're putting your mouth where your mouth is. And I love to see it. I love to see it. Under 25K is bearish. To me, it's like, if you broke below 31K, this is just this is looking pretty poopy. Because then you just have, okay, big, massive pump. And then you're just dumping back below where you were before. That just looks horrible. But as long as you're above that, you're good. Gen X said a lot of buyers at 32.5K. Hard to see it going under. Yeah, who knows? All-time highs before or after the Bitcoin halving. Does anyone have the balls to come in here and say Bitcoin hits all-time highs before the halving? Does anyone have the ball sacks to say it? I don't know, man. I think a lot of people will sit here and have a ball sack to say 10K. But not a lot of people will come in here with the ball sack to say Bitcoin will hit all-time highs before the halving. Does anyone have the ball sacks to say it? You know, I think there's a higher chance that the answer is no. I think that there's a much higher chance that the answer is no. Just because in the cycles that typically doesn't happen, right? But you'll have a lot of people thinking that, you know? I don't think that's impossible. I don't think that's terribly unreasonable. I mean, it's not really even that big of a move. I mean, you're only talking about a 100% move, which Bitcoin did this year already, right? I don't think it's impossible. But would I think it's the most likely scenario? No, I don't think so. It's not impossible, though. Mark said, I think it can happen. Yeah. Then lower. ETF approved next week. All-time high after ETF approval? Could be. Just know I said it here and warned everyone. ETF approved next week? That would be crazy, man. That would be crazy, man. 98 end of year, retraced to 64, then 120 around the halving. That's way too much action for 6 months, man. That's crazy, man. That's way too much action, dude. LB said, one thing what concerned me, BTC looks like a bearish distribution pattern. I see that. And we talked about that yesterday, actually, is you get a lot of people calling for this being Wyckoff distribution. But once again, where can we say that is true? And where can we exit and still make money, right? The thing is, like, it's kind of like the head and remember when everyone was calling this a damn head and shoulders? Everyone and their mother calling this a damn head and shoulders. And, you know, that's patterns. Like, patterns are patterns. How can we say that this is a Wyckoff distribution? It's the same thing when we look at the altcoin market and we say, we go over to AVAX, right? We go to AVAX and we say, how do we flip bullish on AVAX? Well, we get back above the lows, right? And then you have your classic Wyckoff, which AVAX has not done yet, right? Well, we could say the same thing for Bitcoin. We could say Bitcoin's has one low, two lows, smacks the high, or sorry, one high, two highs, smacks the highs. Where can we say that is true? We can just say, okay, and it's the same thing we just said. If Bitcoin moves back down from here and closes below the two previous highs, then I think you can make a case that this was Wyckoff distribution. But until then, it's the theory, right? It's not knowing what's really going to happen. It's just you think it's going to go down from here. Some people think it's going to go up. You might as well flip a quarter, right? But you know, and that's what we say. If you break back below 31K, you can just cut. You can just cut it. You know, but you know it is what it is. Two shoulders on both sides. The complex head and shoulders. The complex head and shoulders, man. I love the complex head and shoulders. What about like a nice little I don't know, man. The monthly chart looks so good. The monthly chart looks so bullish, man. When you look at the monthly chart, like you can look at the daily and the weekly. Look at the monthly though, like that's just such a clean first wave, pullback, continuation. Like it's just so simple. The monthly just screams higher, right? And we got 3 days into the close, so unless Bitcoin takes a massive dump in the next 3 days, you're gonna close the monthly like this, back in the old range. You know, you know it's hard to get bearish on the monthly. We go look at how's the BBWP look on the monthly? Let's see. Yeah, look at that. Look at that week. Look at that monthly BBWP. Look at the times that it was this low. Right, and we know we got the monthly BBWP cross. When's the last time we got the monthly BBWP? The 2 times we did. One time was right here in April 2022, which was the Luna crash. Massive move for Bitcoin. Bitcoin dumped from that point 65% in like 8 months. The time before that was July of 2020. From that point, Bitcoin went on to have a 600% rally to the upside. Right? And we had a confirmed cross last month. So this move is not going to be a small move. It's not going to be small. And that's why you say you break from a 7-month range, you got to be looking for higher, especially with this being where it is. You know, it's crazy, man. Like, that's no joke. I mean, you can even go look at back down here and back down here, man. Like, even look at the 2015 cycle. Cross here, November 2015. right? Cross, then you cross down, then you cross back up again. 2016, all massive moves. The only one that wasn't a bear market. Actually, there was two. November 2018, that was the final capitulation. Luna final capitulation. But all the other ones were after that first year of down and during the bullish years. You know? Hello, man. Oh, man. Let's go, baby. Woods and Waters said, I'm selling everything if we drop more. This is crazy. We should have pumped already. Bro, are you serious? Bro, it's been like 3 days. It's been 3 days since Bitcoin had a 13% move up. We should have pumped already. Bro, are you serious? You must be kidding. And if you say if we drop more, Bitcoin's down from 35K to 34K. Like, let's relax. Let's relax a little bit. It's okay. It's okay. Oh, man. Monthly chart using Bollinger Bands is bullish. Historically hasn't failed so far. Yeah, I used to look at the monthly Bollinger Bands. Not really anymore. Anyways, guys, I'm getting off. I'm going to go watch 90 Day Fiancé. I got to go watch 90 Day Fiancé, okay? And cuddle, okay? Because cuddling is fun. Bro, it gave me the membership milestone. We had Drew who rejoined, and he's back at 25 months. Drew might be one of the longest. Does anyone else have a longer streak? Drew's got 25 months. I don't know if anyone else has a longer streak. Maybe Wayne, Bath, Mike. Wayne, Bath, Mike. I don't know if anyone else would have a longer one. Anderson, maybe. I don't know. Anyways, I'm getting off. I'll go watch 90 Day Fiancé. I'll be back on. I'm going to be streaming tomorrow, guys, 7 o'clock, so look out for that. But in the meantime, it's the weekend. I don't really expect much during the weekend. I would love it, and it would be great, but it's the weekend, so probably just consolidate, which is fine. I think the bigger move is more likely to happen during the week next week. It's FOMC next week. Another nothing burger FOMC that everyone gets shivering their timbers about. Yo, Beth got 27 months. Let's go, man. Beth's got 27.
We're going to the moon.
He's got 21. He's up there, too. Anyways, I'll catch y'all later. Peace out. Enjoy your night. Enjoy your Friday night. Don't stare at the charts all day, because you're going to have a time where you're going to stare at the charts all day, and maybe your girlfriend gets mad at you because you stare at the charts too much. Okay? I'm out of here. Peace!
You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know?